I'll never forget the moment I saw her at my husband's funeral, standing at the back of the chapel, holding two children's hands, wearing a black dress identical to mine. When she walked up to the casket and whispered, "Goodbye, my love," I felt the room spin. Because those were the exact words I'd just said. To my husband. Of 15 years. Her name was Rachel. And she had no idea I existed either. Before we continue, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. I share real stories like this one that will leave you speechless. And drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. I love connecting with you all around the world. My name is Sarah Mitchell. I'm 42, a marketing director in Chicago, and 48 hours before that funeral, I thought I had the perfect marriage. 15 years with David, Sunday brunches, anniversary trips, building our dream home together. We had routines. Inside jokes. A life. David traveled constantly for work. Sales director, high-pressure clients. 2-3 times a month. 3 or 4 days at a time. He'd leave notes on the fridge, "Miss you already. Back Thursday. Love, D." I never questioned him. Why would I? We were solid. Or so I thought. Looking back, the red flags were screaming. That second phone he guarded like it contained nuclear codes. How he'd strip and shower the instant he walked through the door, before even hugging me. The tension in his shoulders whenever I suggested surprising him on a trip. But hindsight is 20/20. I thought he was just particular. Private about work. I was making excuses for him, and I didn't even know it. The call came on a Tuesday afternoon. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. "Is this Sarah Mitchell?" "Yes, who's calling?" "Ma'am, this is Officer Rodriguez with the Ohio State Police. I'm calling about your husband, David Mitchell." "Ohio?" My hands went numb. "David's in Denver for a conference. There must be some mistake." The pause stretched too long. "Ma'am, your husband was in a car accident yesterday evening. I'm very sorry to tell you that he didn't survive." The room tilted. All I could think was, Ohio? He told me Denver. He said Denver. Then the officer asked, "Are you Mrs. Mitchell?" "Yes," I whispered. "I'm his wife." Another pause. Longer this time. "I see. Ma'am, we need you to come identify the body." Something in his voice made my stomach drop. That pause. That careful, uncomfortable, "I see." I didn't know it yet, but that pause contained a secret that would destroy everything I thought I knew about my life. Everything. I drove to Ohio that night. Couldn't sleep anyway. When I walked into the police station, Officer Rodriguez looked at me like I was a bomb about to explode. "Mrs. Mitchell, maybe we should talk before you. I need to see him." The officer exchanged glances with his partner. "Ma'am, there may be some complications with the funeral arrangements." "What kind of complications?" "We'll discuss it after." "Please, this way." When I touched David's cold hand at the morgue, it became real. He was gone. The officer handed me a plastic bag with his belongings, wallet, wedding ring, watch, keys. And a phone. Not his regular phone. A phone I'd never seen before. "What's this?" I held it up. Officer Rodriguez cleared his throat. "We found 2 phones on him, ma'am." 2 phones. I stared at the black iPhone, passcode protected, completely unfamiliar. My heart hammered. I'd never seen this phone before. Never. I planned the funeral in Chicago. Our city. David's favorite flowers. Our wedding song. I was signing the papers when the funeral director's phone rang. His expression changed. "Mr. Peterson, we have a situation." I looked up. "What kind of situation?" He shifted uncomfortably. "Another woman called this morning. She's asking about funeral arrangements for her husband, David Mitchell." The room went cold. "I'm sorry, what?" She said she's his wife. Mrs. Mitchell, I assured her there must be some mistake, but she was quite insistent. "She's calling back this afternoon. I'm his wife." My voice sounded strange, distant. "Yes, ma'am." That's what I told her. That's what she said too. If your jaw just dropped, hit that like button, because this gets so much darker. And drop a comment, have you ever discovered a secret that changed everything? I couldn't sleep that night. Or the next. At 3 in the morning, I went into David's home office and started tearing through drawers. That's when I found it. Hidden under old tax documents, a second wallet. Not his everyday wallet. A completely different one. Inside, a driver's license with David's photo. But the address was Cincinnati, Ohio. Not Chicago. A place he'd never mentioned having any connection to. And credit card statements. Dozens of them. Cards I'd never seen. My hands shook as I read the charges. Hotels. Restaurants. Target. Bye Bye Baby. Children's clothing stores. Children's clothing stores. I sat on that office floor until sunrise, surrounded by evidence of a life I didn't know existed. Every "I love you" was rewriting itself in my mind. Every business trip to Denver was suddenly something else entirely. That morning, I made a decision. I called the funeral director. "Mr. Peterson, about that other woman. If she calls again, tell her the funeral is Saturday at 2 o'clock. Anyone who wants to pay respects is welcome." "Are you sure, Mrs. Mitchell?" "I'm sure. Because I want answers. And I have a feeling if I hold this funeral, she'll come." Then I hired a private investigator. His name was Marcus Chen, highly recommended for cases like this. Though I suppose this wasn't exactly a typical case anymore. Marcus called me back 48 hours later. His voice was gentle, like he was breaking bad news to a child. "Mrs. Mitchell, you should sit down." "I'm already sitting. Your husband had another life. Another home. Another." He paused. "Another family." The room tilted. "Another family. How long?" I whispered. 15 years. The same amount of time he was married to you. The file arrived at midnight. I sat in bed, laptop glowing in the dark, and clicked the first photo. My breath caught. Rachel Martinez. 38. Elementary school teacher with kind eyes and a warm smile. Standing beside David in a family portrait, her arm around his waist, his hand on her shoulder. And 2 children between them. Emma, 12. Lucas, 9. Both with David's dark hair and crooked smile. He'd lived as David Martinez in Cincinnati. Different last name. Different story. A house with their family photos on the mantel. School permission slip signed in his handwriting. A whole life. How do you build a second family and never slip up? Not once in 15 years. The financial records made me physically sick. David earned $180,000 a year. He'd told me he made $95,000. He'd told Rachel he made $110,000. The difference? He pocketed it, funneled it through fake business expenses, built an empire of lies. 2 separate checking accounts. Secret credit cards in both names. And a third savings account neither of us knew about, hidden in the Cayman Islands. $340,000. Hidden. I locked myself in with our wedding album. Every photo felt like evidence of a crime I didn't know was happening. My best friend Jennifer forced her way in when I stopped answering texts. "Jen, I don't know who I was married to." "Then let's find out." I kept digging. Rachel's social media posts ripped my heart out, my soulmate. Father to our babies. Gone too soon. Photos of David at Emma's soccer games, pushing Lucas on a swing set, birthday parties with candles and cake. Anniversary posts from 3 years ago, 12 years of love with this man. 12 years. But we'd been married 15. 2 anniversaries. 2 sets of flowers. 2 sets of promises. She loved him too. She was grieving too. And she had no idea I existed. Then I found David's laptop in a storage unit. Another secret. I cracked the password and found encrypted files that changed everything. Emails to a third woman. In Denver. Her name was Melissa. And David had been planning to leave both of us. The emails were methodical, cold. Almost there, babe. I've liquidated the investments. 2 more months and I can walk away clean. Sarah won't suspect, she never does. Rachel's too busy with the kids to notice. By Christmas, it'll be just us. Mexico. New names. New life. I read that line until the words blurred. Sarah won't suspect, she never does. He thought I was stupid. Blind. Naive. If this email made your blood boil like it did mine, hit that like button. And drop a comment. What would you do if you found out your partner had a whole secret life? Because what I did next changed everything. Something shifted inside me then. The grief hardened into fury. Cold, crystalline rage. How dare he? How dare he plan to abandon us like we were nothing? Like 15 years meant nothing. Like Rachel's children meant nothing. Marcus closed the laptop. You should talk to Rachel. Talk to her? She was sleeping with my husband. So were you. His voice was quiet. She's not your enemy, Sarah. She's your only witness. The only other person who knows what he was. He handed me 10 digits on a slip of paper. I stared at Rachel's phone number like it was a detonator. That night, I couldn't sleep. At 11 o'clock, I dialed. She answered on the 3rd ring, voice hoarse, hello? This is Sarah Mitchell. David's wife. Long silence. Then, whispered, Chicago Sarah. My heart stopped. He told you about me? Once. During a fight 3 years ago. He said you were his ex-wife. That you were crazy. That I should never contact you. My voice broke. He told me he'd never been married before. We both started crying. We talked for 3 hours that night. Comparing stories. Comparing lies. Every detail he'd told her, every detail he'd told me, they fit together like puzzle pieces forming a nightmare. He'd played us both. Perfectly. For 15 years. Finally, Rachel asked, are you going to the funeral? Yes. Are you? I have to. For Emma and Lucas. They think he was a hero. I took a breath. Rachel, what if we worked together? What if we figured out the whole truth, together? Silence. Then, I'm listening. Tell me everything. Saturday morning arrived sunny and cruel. Rachel's car was already in the parking lot when I pulled up. We met outside. Face to face for the first time. 2 women who'd loved the same man. Who'd been destroyed by the same man. Sarah. Rachel. We didn't hug. But we stood together, and somehow, that was enough. The funeral was packed. Friends from Chicago on one side, my world. Friends from Cincinnati on the other, hers. 2 separate universes, colliding in a chapel. Mid-service, the door opened. A blonde woman slipped in late, sunglasses indoors, sitting in the back row like she was hiding. I leaned to Rachel. Do you know her? She shook her head. After the service, I blocked the woman's exit. How did you know David? She removed her sunglasses. Eyes swollen, mascara streaked. I'm Melissa. We were, together. Rachel appeared beside me. You're the one from Denver. Melissa went white. How do you? Coffee shop. Now. My voice was ice. All three of us. We crammed into a corner booth. 3 women. 1 dead man. 1,000 lies between us. Melissa spoke first, hands shaking. I met David 5 years ago. He said he was divorced. No kids. We were moving to Mexico next month. He promised we'd start over with the money he'd been saving. I slid my phone across the table. The email Marcus found. She read it. Her face crumbled. He was going to take my money too. I gave him $50,000 last year. Rachel's voice cut like glass. He stole from all of us. Not just money, I said. Our lives. Melissa looked between us. What do we do? We burn it all down. Monday morning, Laura Stevenson's office. Emergency meeting. The attorney listened to everything, then leaned back. This is bigamy, fraud, identity theft. But we need ironclad evidence. We hired a forensic accountant. He tore through David's financials like a surgeon, 7 secret credit cards, a Florida condo co-signed with Melissa using our money, deleted emails recovered and catalogued. Then Marcus called, voice tight. Sarah. I found something on David's laptop. What? A spreadsheet. Come see this. The screen glowed in Marcus's dim office. A color-coded timeline. 15 years of lies, organized by wife. Blue for me. Green for Rachel. Red for Melissa. Sarah's birthday, bring roses. Emma's recital, Cincinnati by 6 p.m. Melissa, Miami weekend. My stomach lurched. I barely made it to the trash can before vomiting. Rachel stood frozen, staring at the screen. He turned us into a logistics problem. Then Laura's assistant rushed in, white-faced. You need to see the life insurance policies. 3 of them. $250,000 to me. I knew about this one. $250,000 to Rachel. She knew about this one. $500,000 to Melissa. Neither of us knew about that one. Rachel screamed. Actually screamed. Swept everything off Marcus's desk. Papers exploded across the room. She collapsed against the wall, sobbing. He bet on his own death. And gave it all to her. I couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. He'd valued his mistress at twice what we were worth. Laura moved fast. Emergency hearing. Temporary restraining order. All accounts frozen. Melissa's payout blocked. For the first time since David died, I could breathe. Then Marcus called 6 weeks later. Sarah, get to my office. Rachel and Laura are already here. He handed us a folder, hands trembling. David had a 4th account. Cayman Islands. Opened 20 years ago. $1.2 million. Rachel's voice broke. 20 years? Before he married either of us? Marcus nodded. The account isn't under David Mitchell or David Martinez. Then what name? Daniel Morrison. He pulled out a birth certificate. David Mitchell was never his real name. He's been living under a false identity for 25 years. Silence. Rachel whispered, who was my husband? I stared at the document. The man I'd loved for 15 years never existed at all. The investigator's report landed on Laura's desk 3 days later. Daniel Morrison. Born Michigan, 1976. Defrauded investors in a real estate scam, millions gone, disappeared before trial. Created David Mitchell in 1999. 25 years on the run. I married a ghost. A con man. A wanted criminal. Rachel's voice was hollow. I have to tell my children their father was a lie. Saturday afternoon. Laura's conference room. Rachel brought Emma and Lucas, 12 and 9, their faces still innocent. Kids, this is Sarah. She was your dad's friend. Emma's eyes narrowed. Too smart. Why are we really here? I took a breath. Because your dad wasn't honest. He had two families. Your mom's. And mine. Silence. Lucas's voice cracked. Did he love us? Rachel pulled him close. I think he loved the idea of us. But he didn't know how to do it right. Emma looked at me, tears streaming. Are you mad at us? Never. My voice broke. You're innocent. This isn't your fault. Lucas crossed the room and hugged me. I wasn't ready. I started sobbing and couldn't stop. 2 weeks later, we stood outside a state court. Then Melissa's lawyer blindsided us. My client contests the asset division. Ms. Garrett was David's fiancée, not his mistress. She has rights to the estate. Laura's face went white. She can't be serious. But she was. Melissa wanted everything, the insurance payout, the hidden accounts, the Florida condo. Her lawyer argued David promised her a life, and she deserved compensation. Rachel grabbed my arm. We could lose this. No. My hands shook. We don't lose. Not to her. Inside, Judge Patricia Winters looked exhausted before we even started. Laura presented first. Marriage certificates, same year. The timeline spreadsheet, color-coded by wife. Bank statements showing $2 million hidden. Daniel Morrison's criminal record. Then Melissa's lawyer stood. Your Honor, my client was deceived just like these women. She deserves equal consideration. The judge leaned forward. She was never married to the deceased. No, but she was promised marriage. She contributed $50,000. To a con man's escape plan, Laura cut in. David was planning to abandon all of them. Melissa's lawyer played his card. We're requesting a continuance to investigate whether either marriage was legally valid, given the defendant's false identity. My stomach dropped. If neither marriage was valid, everything went to probate. Months of delays. Maybe years. Rachel stood up. Your Honor, may I speak? The judge nodded. My children lost their father. Then they found out he was a lie. Her voice shook but held. Sarah and I didn't choose this. But we're choosing to heal together. To build something real from the ashes of his lies. Melissa knew about us. She read his emails. She knew he was planning to run. She's not a victim, she's a co-conspirator. Melissa shot to her feet. That's not. Sit down, the judge ordered. Long pause. I've heard enough. She removed her glasses. Both marriages void due to bigamy. But intent matters. Mrs. Mitchell and Mrs. Martinez were legally deceived. Ms. Garrett was complicit. She looked at Melissa coldly. You'll return the $50,000. Consider yourself fortunate I'm not charging you as an accessory. Her gavel cracked. Hidden assets divided, 40% each to Sarah Mitchell and Rachel Martinez. 20% to the minor children in trust. Ms. Garrett's insurance claim denied. This court finds in favor of the plaintiffs. I couldn't breathe. Couldn't move. Rachel grabbed my hand. We'd won. Outside, reporters swarmed. How do you feel? I looked at Rachel. At Emma holding my other hand. At Lucas chatting with Laura, resilient like kids are. I feel free. The truth came out. Justice was served. I squeezed Rachel's hand. And I found family in the most unexpected place. Rachel smiled through tears. We both did. We walked away together. 3 survivors and 2 kids. Not the family I planned. But the family I chose. And that was enough. 6 months later. Emma's soccer game. Crisp Saturday morning. I'm in the bleachers beside Rachel, screaming louder than any parent there. Emma scores. We both jump up, screaming. She looks back at us, 2 women cheering for her, and grins. After the game, she runs over, sweaty and glowing. Did you see that goal? We saw it. Rachel pulls her into a hug. Emma looks at me, hesitates. Sarah, can I ask you something? Anything. Can I call you Aunt Sarah? I mean, if that's okay. My throat closes. I nod, can't speak. Pull her into a hug and start crying. Rachel's crying too. Lucas runs over. Why is everyone crying? We won. We all laugh through the tears. That night, Rachel and I sit on her porch. The kids are inside playing video games. Sounds of their laughter drift through the window. I sold the Chicago house, I tell her. She turns. Really? Bought a townhouse. 20 minutes from here. Sarah. My mother thinks I'm insane. You're moving closer to her, she said. I smile. But you're not the other woman. We were both the real wives of a man who was never real. Rachel reaches for my hand. The kids need you. I need you. I need you too. We sit in comfortable silence. 2 women who should have been enemies, who became something better. I'm dating someone, Rachel says quietly. I squeeze her hand. That's wonderful. Who? Music teacher from school. Mark. He makes me laugh. She pauses. I'm terrified. Of course you are. But you're doing it anyway. That's the brave part. What about you? I think about the dating app one downloaded last week. The conversations I've started. The terror and hope mixing together. I'm trying. Taking it slow. But I'm not closed off anymore. I look at her. David took 15 years. He doesn't get the rest. Rachel nods. Lucas drew a picture in art class last week. My family. It was him, Emma, me, and you. My eyes burn. He didn't include David? No. The therapist said that's healthy. He's choosing his own definition of family now. Inside, Lucas shouts about beating some level. Emma tells him he's cheating. Normal sibling chaos. This isn't the family I planned, I say. No, Rachel agrees. It's better. Because we chose it. 1 year later. Thanksgiving. Rachel's dining room table, extended with extra leaves, crowded with food and people. Emma and Lucas arguing over who gets the last roll. Rachel's boyfriend Mark telling terrible dad jokes. My new partner Chris, nervous but fitting in. I look around the table. This chaotic, impossible, beautiful family. Rachel catches my eye. Raises her glass. To truth, she says. To healing, I add. Emma, always the smart one, to choosing each other. We clink glasses. The sound of survival. Of justice. Of moving forward. David, Daniel, whoever he was, he meant to destroy us. Instead, he built us. Into something he could never be. Something real. People ask if I regret those 15 years. I regret the lies. The manipulation. The scars I'll carry forever. But I don't regret who I became. I found Rachel when I should have found an enemy. I found Emma and Lucas when I thought I'd never have children in my life. I found strength I didn't know existed. The truth always comes out. Always. And when it does, you have a choice. Let it destroy you, or let it rebuild you into something stronger. We chose stronger. And every day, we choose it again. If you're watching this and you've been betrayed by anyone, I want you to know something. You will survive this. The truth is worth fighting for. And you deserve better than living in someone else's lie. Justice isn't about revenge. It's about refusing to let someone else's betrayals steal your future. Thank you for letting me share my story. If this moved you, subscribe for more stories of survival and unexpected triumph. Drop a comment, tell me, what would you do? Your story matters too. I'll see you in the next one.